Hello, this is T West, and welcome to AfroSynergy.
When we arrived, it looked like just another bombed-out and later ransacked building in the vastness of Muammar Gaddafi's main compound in central Tripoli. But this was a dormitory where women lived. Makeup, lingerie, colorful and modern frocks and jackets, and dozens of pairs of designer boots and shoes. The women who left these clothes behind were young, attractive, often with long hair they were allowed to keep uncovered, referred to in the West as Gaddafi's Amazon Guard. They often accompanied Gaddafi in his foreign travels and were reported by defectors from Gaddafi's inner circle to have provided more than security for the Libyan leader and his sons and close advisors.
Clearly, this CNN propagandist is indicating or implying that Gaddafi and his men were using these women similar to sex slaves. Ridiculous. Let's see what the Ukrainian nurse had to say about Gaddafi.
We were the personal nurses of Gaddafi and his large family with all his children and grandchildren, and we always accompanied him on his foreign trips. We would regularly measure his blood pressure, take blood samples, and treat him. We gave him pills and vitamins.
Now, the CNN guy is trying to imply that they kept the guards healthy for sexual reasons. Now you see the nurse indicating that Gaddafi wanted everyone to be healthy, including himself. They would have pills and vitamins for Gaddafi.
We were divided in shifts, the five of us. We drew our timetable ourselves and decided who worked when, as well as who traveled with him. Everyone gets sick once in a while, but generally he was in excellent health. I wish everyone had the kind of health that Gaddafi had. I don't know who created this image of his nurses and his female bodyguards. How could anyone in their right mind assume that we could have any intimate relationship with Gaddafi?
Now, maybe perhaps some of you have not noticed, but anyone who is outside of Libya but were in Libya before, when they talk about Gaddafi, notice the nurses. They're not in Libya. They're not under duress, so they have a reason to tell the truth. These other women, from the Ethiopian nanny to this bodyguard who is now under duress and being held as a captive with armed guards outside the door, they have to create a story, a lie, in order for themselves, thinking that they will not be harmed and not be killed. This is their way of getting the Western media into the room to tell and provide their story. In other words, they want the world to know that they are being held captive.
His wife, children, grandchildren, officials, they were around him all the time. None of us had ever been one-on-one with him. Rules were strict. We dressed formally and wore no flashy makeup or lipstick going to his house. Likewise, he never made any passes at us. Gaddafi was quite considerate. I don't know much about how the nannies were treated in his family, but as for us, he treated us very well. He never shouted at us, was always calm and friendly. Every year on September 1st, Gaddafi presented us with souvenirs, like this medallion with his picture, and this watch with his picture too. He gave those kinds of presents not only to his nurses, but to everyone who worked in his inner circle. Instead of saying Gaddafi, Gaddafi all the time, especially to avoid attracting attention from local Libyans, between ourselves we called him Daddy. Daddy gave us jobs, money, a good life.
То ли это Каддафи, то ли это кто-то другой.
We would
конечно.
love to be able to return to Libya, whether it's ruled by Gaddafi or someone else. But we were there for one reason and one reason only, simply to make money. Compared with Libya, life here in Ukraine is very difficult.
This is just another example of the depravity of these NATO rats, the same group that has been raping and plundering all across Libya. We've seen the houses ransacked. Even in this video, you see the building ransacked. You see the bra of the woman that has been strung across the window. These are depraved criminals who rape and kill. They have killed some of the bodyguards. They have raped some of the bodyguards. Now they imprison some of these bodyguards. These people are under duress and should not be answering to a criminal force within Libya. You know, after all, we have the Al-Qaeda flag flying on top of the courthouse in Benghazi. That is the headquarters of the NATO rats. Al-Qaeda flag. And our presidents, Obama, Nicolas Sarkozy, David Cameron, they enjoy and talk to you about freedom in Libya. They lie to you about freedom in Libya. These are cutthroats who are bedding down with cutthroats. The NATO rats, Al-Qaeda, and they rape, kill, and plunder all across Libya. And now they terrorize these bodyguards. And I have this fool, YT Red, or whoever he is. He wants to challenge the truth. Puny.
There were even medical records found here for female patients, supplements for fitness training, prescriptions for minor ailments. Reportedly, Gaddafi wanted all his women confirmed as being completely healthy. The dormitory was secured by locked gates, the women essentially prisoners. Some have been detained since Tripoli was taken. This woman, Rama Salah, said she'd had a recent miscarriage and felt unwell. I was not a volunteer, she said. I was a regular member of the popular security. The security guard said her jailers, who was brandishing a weapon when she was arrested. She was one of Gaddafi's guards, her jailer explained, her case now being studied by a legal counselor. There were 24 bedrooms in this dormitory. It's not known how many, if any, of the women were here when NATO bombs strafed the compound or when rebel forces seized control. Only that whenever they did leave, like so much else in the regime's last days, they left in a hurry.
Now, this next piece is a direct response to YT Red, who has stated that question is not about babysitting. It is about actual facts against your, talking about me, embellished and false claims. He went on to say you seem to have a problem, and it seems to generate from your biased and pathetic hatred of others. If you wish to have an honest debate, fine. I am all for that. Well, to you, YT Red, I do not care to debate with an idiot such as yourself. You have indicated that the woman who is laying dead in the video, the former bodyguard of Muammar Gaddafi, is this woman who is now being interviewed by CNN. These are totally different women. Totally different. So first of all, if you're going to debate with me, which you're not in my league, you're in the junior leagues, or worse, don't be so naive to come to me with your lies about these being the same women. They are not the same. So what is this that you're looking at? You're looking at pictures of 2 bodyguards of Muammar Gaddafi that had been murdered, one of them raped and beaten and then strangled to death by the NATO rats. The same rats who are holding these other bodyguards as prisoners, and they're looking for other bodyguards. These are the same women who are under duress in Libya, who should be flown out of the country. The neophyte YT Red has indicated that one of these dead women are actually this woman being interviewed that you're going to see coming up next with CNN. No, these are different women. He is emphatically implying that the woman that you see dead is not one of Muammar Gaddafi's bodyguards, because that woman is now talking to CNN. He's a liar. End of story.
19, with soft features, warm brown eyes, and full lips. And she became an executioner for Muammar Gaddafi's forces. One of them had facial hair like this. Nasreen Mansour gestures, recalling the face of one of the men she shot dead. Mansour now lies in a hospital bed with an armed rebel guard out front. She doesn't want us to show her face. She admits she murdered 11 rebels, all prisoners of the Gaddafi regime. They brought one person in at a time and they said, "Shoot him," she tells us. There was someone on either side of me and one behind, and they all said, "If you don't shoot, we will shoot you." She speaks haltingly, often falling into a tortured silence. I would turn my head away and shoot. And then I saw the blood dripping. It just kept flowing. Nasreen was a member of the female unit of Gaddafi's popular militia. She says she was forcibly taken from her mother, who is battling cancer, by the head of the unit, a family friend. She was trained here at the Female Military Academy to handle weapons, banned from seeing her family. Some of the other women at the academy were ardent regime supporters. Nasreen says she wasn't, but she couldn't leave. My brother came and tried to get me out, she says. He was threatened and told to leave. Nasreen says her commander kept her here, at the headquarters of a brigade based next to Gaddafi's Bab al-Aziziyah compound. She says that as the uprising began in February, she was brought to see the commander of the brigade. He raped her. I screamed, she tells us. It happened twice, again, at the hands of 2 other commanders. She says all the women were raped, but they were forbidden to speak about it. As the rebels closed in on Tripoli, Nasreen was assigned to the Busalim neighborhood, where some of the heaviest fighting was taking place. It was there, she says, that she was forced to be an executioner. She finally escaped, jumping from a second-story window as a firefight erupted. Although the rebels plan to put her on trial, many of them pity her. So do the hospital staff. One of her doctors, Nadia Ben Younis, says she was speechless when she first heard about her case.
You think I get angry from her? I have maybe, no. I feel she's also innocent, but she manipulated by someone. Maybe she has no a real intention to kill.
All I want is to go home, she says. I want my mother. Arwa Damon, CNN, Tripoli.
Now, did you notice the fantastic job that CNN did of hiding the face and identity of this young black Libyan woman? This is T West, the Afro Synergy.